Welcome to How Great Thou Art workshop. I'm so excited to share this tune with you. This is lesson 1. The link's below for the sheet music and all the lessons. And this lesson 1, we're just doing a really small chunk just to get your feet wet, so to say. And we're starting off on an E. Now we have 3 E's in a row, so we can separate them a few different ways with a few different embellishments. So that's the little chunk we're working on right now. It's not very big, but I want to go through these different options on the E. So with the bagpipes, we can't play an E and then another E and another E like this. We can't do that on the bagpipes because it's continuous airflow. So we have to separate these 3 E's with something. I've chosen to kind of make it a little bit interesting, so mix it up a bit. So I do a middle grace note, middle finger. That grace note doesn't come up very much, so it's not a G grace note with the top finger. I do middle finger up and down as the first grace note. Second grace note, I do a G grace note. The way I've done that, the G grace note is on the downbeat, which is more typical. So that's why I've started with that kind of funny middle finger grace note, and then the G grace note is the second one. And then the third embellishment here to separate these 3 E's is a E strike. So the opposite of a grace note. A grace note goes up and down, a strike goes down and up. And we're doing that with the ring finger of the top hand. So that'll be the third embellishment on those 3 E's. So all together. And one more time, and I'll show you a couple other versions here. I'll get my fingers nice and close. So those are the 3 embellishments I've done. Middle finger, top finger, and then the strike down with that third finger. And that's how I've written it in the sheet music, which you can check out in the link below. Now, if that's a little bit confusing, because we are doing 3 different fingers for 3 different embellishments, and you want to simplify things, I have heard versions of just doing 3 E strikes. So that third finger down and up, down and up, and down and up a third time. So that would be an option 2. To me, it just doesn't sound quite as nice, not quite as interesting, but if you can play that easier, better, it gets you into the tune quicker, then that can be a good reason to do it. Another option is just doing 3 G grace notes. Top finger up and down, and up and down a third time. So those would be the 3 different options to do on the E. Pick what you like. For these videos, I'll probably play the version I've done, but know if you have an easier time just doing the 3 G grace notes or the 3 E strikes, that's an option as well. Either way, we're going to end up on that third E, and we have to get down to the C. And you hear I'm going from E to C with a doubling. If you're not doing the doubling, the transition of the notes will look like this. We're on the E, pinky finger is up when we're on that E, ring finger is up on the top hand when we're on that E. We're going to, if you're not doing the doubling, we're going to drop down the ring finger of the top hand, drop down the pinky finger of the bottom hand, and we're lifting up those middle 2 fingers of that bottom hand. So that's our note transition. Now if you're doing the doubling, we need to do first a G grace note to get down to that C. So that top finger has to lift. We do our note transition to the C, then the top finger comes down. That's the first half of the doubling. Second half of the doubling, double 2 grace notes. So our first grace note is that G coming to the C. Our second grace note is going to be a D grace note up and down with the top finger of the bottom hand. And that would be our C doubling from the E to the C. So probably the most simple version, if you're just doing 3 G grace notes and then down to the C without the doubling. This is what it'll look like, and then I'll give you the embellished version here in a moment. So that would be kind of the most simple version. Here's the way I've written it in the sheet music in the link below. So there you have it. First chunk of How Great Thou Art. This is a great sounding tune on the pipes. It's one that actually comes up a fair number of requests, so it's a great one to get in your repertoire. So again, click on the link below to check out the sheet music, all the lessons for How Great Thou Art, and also or How Great Thou Art, whatever the name of this tune is. How Great Art Thou? How Great Art Thou? I better look that up for the next lesson. Get the proper title. So yeah, check out the link below, and also you could feel free to browse other tunes that I have workshops and tutorials for. Feel free to check it out in the link below.